Ladies and gentlemen, it is April 23rd, Friday, 2021. We are at the eastern edge of the property of the New England Motorcycle Museum. We have 11 acres here in the city of Rockville, Connecticut. We own this dam right here and the water rights. This was originally a water-powered facility built in 1814. You can see the factory over there. That's only one of 10 buildings on 11 acres. I've been here for 10 years working on this with the town of Vernon, the state of Connecticut, and the federal government working together to see this project through. We bought this house on the hill here. This is the original mill manager's house that we live in, and totally landscaped the property. All 11 acres has been cleaned up from the street side, but we got a long way to go. This check right here is $7.5 million. $7.5 million. That's how much we spent so far. We're about halfway through the project. So I wrote another check for $7.5 million to finish this project. That's what it's gonna cost. We don't have $7.5 million. That's how much we spent, but we're out walking out on faith. It's gonna get done with your help together. We're gonna see this through. And everybody, whether you donated $1 or $10,000, this project is a little bit yours as much as it is mine. So let's take a walk over. I wanted to give you guys an update on the fundraiser for the roofs. Our major issue right now is the roofs on the remaining buildings that we haven't restored are breached and water's coming in. So we're doing a fundraiser right now to repair the roof of building number 8, the large brick building. It's a 20,000 square foot building. The building attached to it, the roof is breached. All 3 buildings in the front need new roofs. So that's our #1 goal. This is a multi-million-dollar generational project. It's a $15 to $20 million project, depending on what the final usage of the buildings is gonna be. Our goal is to have the largest motorcycle museum in New England. We've already accomplished that. Our other goal is to open a restaurant, bar, and microbrewery here in the buildings, and also a motorcycle restoration school with on-site lodging for some of the students. So we got a long way to get there, but with goals, we create the future in advance, and that's what we're doing. We're one day at a time, showing up, working hard, and turning what was once an eyesore into the nicest spot in the city of Rockville. The landscaping is beautiful. The buildings are beautiful. This first building here, as you see, it has a new roof on it. That roof was done about 15 years ago, so that one's all set. But I want to show you what needs to be done on these buildings just to preserve them. This first building right here, this is the mill manager's office building, and it needs a new roof. It's a slate roof. It's breached. You can see the paint's peeling off the front of it because even though we painted it a few years ago, it won't stick because the wood is getting punky. We're going to lose that building if we don't put a roof on it. And it's registered. It's on the National Registry of Historic Places. That building is a historic landmark, and we will restore that. But the first thing is putting a roof on it. That's job one. The other thing we have to do is this building is actually listed on the Connecticut Brownfield list and the Environmental Protection Agency Brownfield list. Because of that smokestack out back, this building was originally powered by water and coal, and there's a tremendous amount of coal ash in the soil out back. We've done the phase 1, the phase 2, and the phase 3 environmentals. We've eradicated all of the asbestos from this building, all of the lead paint, all of the arsenic, all of the PCBs, the underground oil tanks. We spent over $1 million in environmental remediation, but we still have a ways to go. We need about $1.5 million to completely finish the environmental remediation. That includes capping the parking lots in the back. The licensed environmental professional who did the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 gave us all the information. We got a quote. Actually, the economic development coordinator for the town of Vernon helped us with that, Sean Gately, and it was just about $1 million to cap the coal ash. And then, of course, we've got the lead paint and PCB transformers and windows that are containing lead and arsenic and asbestos that needs to be removed from the other parts of the building. So about $1.5 million will finish the environmental remediation, and then we've got to rebuild the buildings. So that's a whole nother challenge. But we have a track record of success. You're looking at a 45,000 square foot building here. Averages about $100 a square foot. We put about $5 million into this building right here, and it came out absolutely beautiful. Look at this. When you see the before and after pictures, it's remarkable. the transformation. And this is buildings like this in Europe are literally thousands of years old and still in good shape. You got to keep a good roof on it. You got to keep it dry, and you got to keep it protected from fire and water. Other than that, they'll last forever. The building's built out of brick. See those giant granite slabs on the bottom? They don't make foundations out of granite anymore. You don't have to worry about crumbling foundations on this building, okay? This is granite with brick, and it's built post and beam with brick infill. This is the first building built on the property in 1840. This building right here needs an entire new roof. It's completely shot. It's the original 1880 roof. And I think we have some drone shots that we can show you of the roof and some photos that we took for the quotes that we needed to get done. If you walk into the back here, when I first came here, it felt like I was going to a lost city in the Aztec jungle because everything was overgrown with trees and bushes. When I came through this entryway here, I had one of those moments where I knew I was about to embark on a journey here to restore these buildings. I pretty much made up my mind when I saw the grandiosity of this place and the potential. This is the second building that we need to put a roof on. If you come inside here, you can see. As you can see, the building roof is completely breached and failing in the middle. It needs a complete replacement, but it's a 50 by 50 foot all brick building with 35-foot ceilings, so it's a pretty remarkable structure. And it also, of course, has the historic smokestack. The vision for this building is to have this be part of the restaurant bar with a bar in the corner over here, and then outside a large outdoor barbecue pit for pig roasts and cooking like 30 chickens at a time, and just for festivities out here. This and for events, this entire lot back here has to be capped because there's coal ash from that smokestack right here is in the ground all the way through here, and the best environmental way to remediate it is to cap it, and that's what the Department of Environmental Protection and the EPA and the licensed environmental professionals came up with a solution. So this whole 2 acres here, some of it has to be excavated, and the whole thing needs to be recapped. This building here is too far gone. This is where we're going to be 5 years from now. If we don't put new roofs on this building, these buildings, that's where they're going to be. This one's beyond, it's condemned, it's beyond restoration. It's full of mold and rotting because the roof was breached about 15 years ago. We're going to demolish this building right here. When we got here, there were 2 buildings already that were on the ground. So we've lost 3 buildings already. This one, I don't see this being a huge setback, losing this building, because this will open up the courtyard for events. But this building over here and this building, these have to be saved. These are the right at the gateway. They're very significant architectural structures on the property that have been here since 1880, and they're really well built post and beam and brick. So to duplicate that today would be over $350 a square foot, maybe $400 a square foot. We can rebuild it for about $100 a square foot. It just needs a new roof, windows, electrical and plumbing, and so forth. But that we need to put a roof on that one. And if you zoom in on that one, you can see all the missing shingles on that building. And there's a small lean-to building on the other side, about 1,500 square foot, that needs a new roof. This building right here, this is a massive 45,000 square foot cast in place concrete structure. The roof needs to be completely replaced. We'll go up and take a look at it. The city of Rockville has risen in large part with help from not only the town, but the state and the federal government. From where I'm sitting right here, you can see we are standing on a brand new bridge. This was $1 million project. Down there, brand new bridge. Right over there, brand new bridge. And if you notice, the roadways are brand new. New roads, new bridges, new electrical. I believe Rockville could be the poster city on how to resurrect a forgotten mill town. Over $120 million in private and public money has been invested into the small city of Rockville here, including the $7.5 million we've invested into the New England Motorcycle Museum and the properties at 200 West Main. Right here is the cycle shop. You can see it has a brand new roof on it that we installed in 2011 when we started the project. In the large main building, the anchor building, has a new asphalt shingle roof about 15 years ago. Those 2 roofs are in great shape. Unfortunately, the slate roof on that building is leaking profusely, so that needs to be fixed or we're going to lose the office building. As you can see, we're all the way on the other. This was a football field. I'm at the goal line, and Kenny holding the cameras at the goal. It's 100 yards. This is a 45,000 square foot cast in place industrial building. This entire football field long surface has a rubber and rock roof on the top. We'll take a walk up there and I'll show you it needs a new roof. About 15 years ago, before we got here, they installed a new elevator and elevator shaft. Unfortunately, since the roof's been leaking, it is full of mold and decay on the sheetrock. Obviously, not only a new roof, but we also need new windows. But the main source of water penetration on the building is the roofs. You can see from the last rainfall, it basically turns into a pond in here. But the actual structure of the building has been inspected by an engineer, and it's in outstanding condition. It's built like a parking garage. It's a massive concrete structure, absolutely the easiest building on the property to restore, but it's going to be expensive because it's such a large building. We had a couple estimates to turn this into housing. It's about an $8 million project. To turn it into industrial space, about a $4 million project. And that's just for this building right here. If you look out over into the courtyard, you can see the roof on the red building where it was breached and patched multiple times. It's a lost cause, that building. It has to go. On the other side, if you zoom into the rubber membrane roof on the far building, that rubber membrane was replaced 15 years ago, but it is needing some repairs, probably a complete replacement in short order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 of these buildings and the 6th one over there need new roofs. That's job 1. Job 2 is going to be the environmental remediation of the back here, the removal of the debris and the capping of the property with asphalt to the EPA standard, and that'll get this most of the work needed to get off the brownfield list for the property. It's an architecturally beautiful and significant building. It has to be saved. It just needs a new roof to take it to the next generation. You can see it's breached on the far end there, and it's got a tree growing out of it. It needs a complete restoration. So if you can find it in your heart to help us out, whether it's $1, $5, $10, or just hit the subscribe button to our channel, every little bit will help. Thank you all for watching and believing in us and having faith to help us take it to the next level. Thank you from the heart, and God bless America. This is part of the team that's working on the building restorations, and Mark's on the board of directors for the museum, and we're going over the finances to see. We don't have enough money to fix the roof yet, but we made some progress.
Yes, sir. First of all, I just want to thank everybody who donated, a dime, $10, $20, $100 plus, whatever, and say how grateful we are.
Amen.
And also, the reason of doing this video is we're going to be showing you what's going on, what was repaired, and where your donations are actually going to. And you guys are all part of the team that we are saving this building.
Absolutely.
It's our part of history.
The most important thing is to stop the damage from continuing, and in large part, Dean's accomplished that. And what did it take you, 3 weeks now? You've been full-time on it?
Yeah, that's right. Repairing some flashing and some missing shingles, and
it wasn't just the roof. There were windows that had blown out and that were covered with plastic for decades, and missing window panes, including that one up there, Kenny. You can show them that there was no window in there, and birds were getting in here. We took some video of the before. Now, if you look at the floor in here now, it's all nice and clean. All the debris is taken out. There were, dead pigeons in here and pigeon poop and that kind of stuff because, well, there was no window. The building's been largely abandoned since 1954. So this is one of the anchor buildings on the project. It's really important to save it. And I think we haven't fixed the roof, but we put a seriously big patch Band-Aid in probably 20 different spots. And it's not raining or snowing inside the building. And I don't know, you also repurposed a bunch of the windows too, right?
yeah, we're able to repurpose some windows, reglazed a few, got them back in their openings instead of the plastic, and they're a lot more functional, a lot more weather tight.
So they're not, they're the original 1880 windows. About a third of them were salvageable, and we use those. We have some that were boarded up in the front that are watertight, and we salvage enough to do a whole back wall of the building, so now the light comes in, the windows are preserved, and there's no more water coming in. That's the main thing, because what does water do to an old building like this?
It'll rot it, yep.
And we have some proof of that over here. Check this out, guys. This is where the roof was leaking right here, and you can see we've got drip pans underneath it, but the floors, you could actually probably fall through if you stepped on this, so I'm not going to go any farther. I'm hanging on to this beam here, but you can see the floor is buckling. This is all from water damage. This is where, I think this is a spot that we had a 2 foot of snow in here with the last snowstorm. So how did you patch this?
Well, it replaced there was some temporary panels up there where the skylights were removed. Those had failed over time, so we've got new panels up there, wrapped in Tyvek, which should last, good 6 months. Did a bunch of roof cement, added some aluminum flashing material where the shingles were missing. It's a patch for now.
It'll protect, the 6 months of raining and snowing inside here could do a lot more damage than's already here.
Yeah,
So
gotta stop the moisture, gotta stop the water.
that was step one, and then starting to clean up the damage in here. But we like I said, we don't have enough money to fix the whole roof. We have a quote from a slate company, $80,000 to repair this roof here, and that's using our own carpentry, which would be Dean and his helper doing the carpentry repairs. And then what we would do is salvage all the slate off the small building next door to here. Look out the window here, Kenny. You can see that this is the roof of the detail shop. This is slate. We would strip this roof completely, salvage this slate, and this would be used to repair the roof above us. And we replace this roof with an architectural shingle roof, which is probably realistically another 30 grand. So our original estimate of it being around 100 is probably on the conservative side. And there's also the eBay offices down there, which has a rubber membrane roof. All three roofs need to be done. It's probably closer to, if we do all three, somewhere in the $120,000 range would be my estimate. We're waiting on getting quotes from a company at Agawam, Mass, and another local company. We're going to get at least 3 quotes, and also a metal roofing company, because we haven't given up the option of switching from the slate. The guys that have been working on the building since the beginning with me 11 years ago, want to see the slate remain because it'll last basically forever with some maintenance. So if we can afford to, we'll reslate this roof and then metal or architectural shingle the other ones, whatever makes the most sense. But we're waiting on the quotes. If you know any good roofing companies, please put your 2 cents in the comment. If you have any suggestions, something you think we might have missed. If you have contributed, we're super grateful. That's where the money came from, to get the ball rolling and really to like Mark had said, to save the building, right, Mark?
Yes, sir.
Because it's going, we don't want to go backwards anymore.
Yeah, and like, once again, we are forever grateful for everyone who has stepped up and
In the past,
everywhere.
present, in the future.
Yeah,
So,
and this is a huge project, but we will save this for the next generation.
absolutely, that's what it's all about. We don't, to completely restore this 25,000 square foot 1880 building, the average is about $100 a square foot, including new plumbing, new handicap access ramps, new doors, new windows, new HVAC, and a sprinkler system to get it up to code is about $100 a foot. So we could easily spend $2.5 million on this building. We don't have that money. We're trying to come up with $100,000 so we can at least preserve it. $100,000, we'll put a roof on it and protect the windows, and we can start, giving this building a future. If we wait any longer, it's going to be too far gone. So we've accomplished a lot in the 3 weeks that Dean and his helper have been here. They patched up a little bit in the corner there. This skylight was completely replaced, and the flashing was redone. This one right here, we actually made this one weather tight, and this has a poly membrane that might last 6 months on there. Hopefully we'll have the roof replaced by then, but at least no more water's coming in. So 1, 2, this is a third spot, the roof. As you can see, the damage on the floor right here.
Replaced the missing skylight panel. Quite a bit of leaking coming around the sides of the skylight where the flashing had failed, had corroded over time, the metal flashing, the step flashing. So had to back that up with some roof cement. Also some missing slate shingles, replaced those, some aluminum flashing. That pretty much took care of this whole run and have a lot less leaking. A few drips here and there, no doubt about it. There's some pails here, but you're not gonna get that kind of damage anymore.
Excellent.
Was able to reach some spots through the skylight without reaching too far, but down here I couldn't do much, and there is some leaking coming in there. It's compromising the brick there.
You can see the masonry damage that was done right here. We battled this in all the buildings that we've restored here, the other 4 buildings that we restored. We have masons that have put over 10 man-years of labor, our crew. The 2 remaining masons that we have working here, Elliston and his helper, will fix this, but it's a pretty big job. You got to pull all the bricks out, repoint it, and re-put it in there. We'll start. That's the next phase of the project. Once the roof is done, we fix all the masonry, then we start repairing windows, not a total restoration, but this is a preservation service like we do on a lot of vintage motorcycles to keep it from going backwards. You don't want water getting in the building. Obviously, this is the kind of damage the water does, right? So this is another skylight you had to replace, right?
Same routine here with the roof cement, the flashing where shingles were missing, replaced the temporary skylight panel, and had a really, this really bad leak here. So we got a pail here from the last rainstorm, just really maybe a half a cup in that.
See the SWAT sticker right here? When we got here, these buildings were covered with 666 symbols, SWAT stickers, all kinds of, it was Satan's kingdom here, let's just leave it at that. And there was actually graffiti on the interior of one of the buildings congratulating their brothers that did the Boston Marathon bombing a few years back. How sick is that? This compound right here was ground zero of the cultural and moral decay of Rockville, and we've turned it into a site of hope. And I've been in the computer industry 25 years before I started this project 12 years ago, and nobody ever came and prayed for us in the computer industry. We've had at least a dozen pastors, I've had priests, I've had prophets, I've had bishops, all kinds of men of God who showed up here, and spiritual people, holy men, from all religions, and prayed with us, because this was the ground zero of the spiritual moral decay of this city, and we restored it into a beacon of hope. Guys, this is the entry to the bridge that goes to the museum building. This is the building you'll see from the outside. It's attached to the major museum building, and when you come into this bridge, you can see we've already done all the structural repairs on here. Everything from here down is pretty much brand new. Matter of fact, probably the best thing to do would be to just open the door. This is the third floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum, and this looked way worse than the room I'm about to take you into. This building is 1814. This one's 70 years newer. So let's take a walk over there. Guys, we put a patch over here so no one would fall through the floor when they're working in here on trying to clean up the building. Some time ago, I think when we got here like 8 years ago, but you see the amount of damage water has done to the ceiling here, coming through the floor and taking the trim right off. And there's more. Here's more of the graffiti like hell. They had some kind of seance. They did like seances in here and devil worshiping, and that's the only way I can explain the amount of 666 symbols and devil signs and everything. But we're slowly but surely getting rid of all those, just like we got rid of all the graffiti in the whole city. So this is on the fourth floor. You can see the damage. The water is coming from the ceiling above. It's coming from the fifth floor to the fourth floor to the third floor, and the damage it's going to be expensive to fix. And as long as we get the roof patched up, it won't get any worse, but it's pretty damn bad. You can see the front windows here are all boarded up. We did salvage as many windows as we could to put on the back wall here. You can see that this water completely penetrated the building from the floor above, and you can also see how thick the floor is. There's a 5/4, which is 1.25 inch maple floor that was on top of there that rotted. Then it went through the 2-inch fir and then the 1-inch fir, so that was, let's see, 2, 3, almost 5 inches, actually over 5 inches of solid wood. The rating for the floor was 150 pounds, which is about the same as a parking garage, a concrete parking garage. You can see the size of the beams. They don't build buildings like this anymore because it's too expensive, and this one needs to be saved. You can see the ceiling, the damage there with the, that's called wainscoting, right? Is that what that's called? What is it called?
It's beadboard, tongue and groove beadboard.
Tongue and groove beadboard. It's very expensive wood. Unfortunately, a lot of it is damaged. I would say about 1/4 of it. It doesn't have to be there. It's cosmetic, but it is obviously rotting and coming down. I'm standing on a patch that was put in to protect what's left of the floor. And here's one of the windows we salvaged. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up. This is leaded glass. You can see it's wavy. Does the camera pick that up? This is original 1880s leaded glass. These windows are in amazingly good shape for an 1880 window. We salvaged these from another part of the building. This was just an open hole to the outside. And we kept on patching it with plastic. Every few months it would blow back out. If you look out the window here, straight down there, this will be one of the next projects we have to do. There's a loading dock that's completely rotted and falling off the building. We're going to tear that down and dispose of that. The red building back there, that one's going to be dismantled and disposed of also. That building is too far gone. The roof's been breached on that for too long, and it's it's too far. We're gonna get a demolition permit for that one. Slate roof covering the detail shop, and you can see that a lot of the slate failed here. It had been previously repaired. We're in the process of putting a repair on this right now. So just a temporary stopgap to keep the water from rushing in. Down on the third floor, and you can see these windows. Somebody had painted these satanic symbols, anarchy symbols on here. We got some paint removing razor blades. We're going to scrape that off, but just trying to get rid of the images of negativity. Guys, this is Jason. He was a lead carpenter who ran the project here during the first phase of the $7.5 million restoration of 75,000 square foot of mill space. And Jay, you've been working, you've got a slate roofer, right, that we can get a quote from?
Yes, I do.
What did the quote come in, and that was a little over a year ago, so do you remember what it was for?
I'd have to look up for sure, but I believe it was in the 80 to 85 range.
80 to 85, okay. Yeah, and I think I have the quote in writing somewhere. We have a carpenter that we hired, Dean, who's been doing an awesome job. He's been here about 3 weeks now, and he's
Excellent.
patched up a lot of the problems that were on the roof. Would you be available to come meet with him and spend maybe an hour up here and point out, I know nobody knows this building better than you, and I know you spend a lot of time here. Maybe you could go over, see if there's anything he may not have noticed as far as carpentry repairs that may need to be done before the roof's done. And I think the quote included us doing the carpentry repairs, right?
Yeah, that was us. That was me doing. That was us doing the skylights, tearing. That was mainly just that building. I forgot what number building, letter building.
It's building 8. Building 8. That's the one with the slate roof.
Yeah, building 8. But yeah, that was with us doing the roof on the detail shop roof, harvesting that slate and putting a conventional architectural shingle roof on the detail shop roof, and using that harvested slate for any of the repairs on the big main building, building 8.
What are your thoughts about maybe metal roofing or other options, either metal or architectural shingles, rather than going back to the original slate?
You got to keep it slate.
Yeah?
That's my thought. That's my thought. We got to keep it slate. Slate requires some maintenance, but it lasts forever.
Okay.
Architectural shingles, regular architectural asphalt shingles, you're going to get 25 years, 25, 30 years.
Which means the roof on the big building is going to need to be done in 5 or 10 years, because that was done like 15 years ago.
Yeah, keep our fingers crossed for that roof. Well, you can have some more time with that roof.
All right. So, do you have his? Can you text me his number when you get a second? And can we? Are you available to come up here and take a look at where we're at with this?
Actually, you called me in a good week. I actually kind of took this week off, and I could get there tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic! Wonderful. We'd love to have your input. And if you're available to help on it, I know you've been pretty much flat out on the other projects, but if you're available.
Yeah,
Even if you just consult on it, that'd be, whatever level of support would be greatly appreciated.
No, absolutely, Ken. I love that place. I put my heart and soul into that place. I love all those buildings. I love the whole project. I talk to the mill every time I showed up to work there. I would love to, we'll talk some more tomorrow. But,
do you still have all the pictures that you took?
I got thousands of pictures.
Junior, can you and Junior get together so you can harvest some of those for the video we're doing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to get them out of my phone, and I want to get them in a different format than on my phone. So
Yeah,
I don't want to say nothing because I'm superstitious, but I want to get them out of my phone before something, before I lose them. I've had them in there for, 8 years. Some of them.
Junior could harvest all those and put them on a USB or on a file he could email you.
Yeah.
So then we'd both have a copy. That'd be great.
I'll have to figure it out because I have probably a solid, probably 1,000 pictures.
Okay, awesome. What time can you come up tomorrow?
That I can't tell you right now, but I know it can be tomorrow. I'll call you back later on. Let me look at my schedule. It's probably going to be more towards the morning. time.
Perfect. Whatever works for you. We'll be here. Let us know.
All right, Ken.
Thank you, Jason.
You're very welcome, Ken. I'll give you a call later on